driving down the hills in these luxury cars. Okay, know from where we came, but we shoot for the stars. Oh yeah, I cannot complain, I've been blessed by the gods. Amen. My success insane, it look like a mirage.
What's up, YouTube? I wanted to talk to you guys about the reliability and any problems that I've had with the F-Type so far. This F-Type is the V6S model, and it has 70,000 miles. So I think it'll be informative for anyone who's interested in what kind of problems or issues you might expect in a high mileage F-Type. Okay, so first thing I noticed when I checked this car out is right over here on the driver's side door handle. The Jaguar logo on this aluminum portion is kind of faded. Yeah, so you can see right there, it's a little faded. It doesn't bother me too much, but that is something that can definitely show some wear after high mileage. Going inside to the interior, the buttons. So if you notice the buttons, the steering wheel right here, like you can just kind of see some of the discoloration on this plastics that they put this kind of crappy coating on the buttons themselves, and you'll notice that a lot over here on these buttons also. The start stop button is a culprit, but mine is actually pretty good right now, and you might notice it around these buttons over here in this console area. But for my car, most of the wear is around the steering wheel area, as you saw. So seat wear, you can tell on the leather of the seat right here. It's mostly just wrinkles and marks from getting in and out. There's a couple scratches right over here. Doesn't bother me too much, again, mostly just something that shows its age of the car. Alright, I'm gonna take it to the engine, because this is kind of where there's also been some issues. Okay, so we're in the engine bay now. So engine-wise, the problems I've had on this car is this piece right here, the supercharger bypass actuator. The electronics of this unit here failed, and when that fails, it usually will result in limp mode, no boost, no supercharger performance. So the car is basically like naturally aspirated. It feels really slow. So this piece here, I had to fix out of warranty. That one just failed like a month ago, right around 68,000 miles. That part cost me $250, and I replaced it myself pretty easily since it's up top here. The next thing that went wrong with this car is the injectors. All 6 of the injectors, which are hidden on each side of this engine, they went bad, and this happened during the CPO warranty from the previous owner. So they had to get it replaced, but luckily it was free from the dealership. So that was performed around 64,000 miles, the repair for that. So the next thing that went wrong on this car is the coolant hose in the back that connects bank 1 and bank 2. That coolant hose went bad, mostly just leaking. It wasn't like a crack or a major leak. It was just leaking and had to be repaired because it was losing coolant. So this piece was about $150, and then $1,100 for the labor to replace it. And that didn't happen during my ownership. That was the previous owner's problem. Then they had it fixed. Next thing was the coolant expansion tank right over here. The bleed screw kind of leaked right over here because it was cracked. The previous person who worked on this car tightened the bleed screw too much, then it ended up cracking here and causing a leak that goes down the edge of this coolant expansion tank. This coolant expansion tank costs $160, and new coolant is $90. And I did this myself because it was leaking pretty bad and I couldn't really drive it anymore without losing too much coolant. This exactly isn't really a problem yet, at least, but there is beginning to be some kind of noise, like a rumbling noise from the differential. I'm hoping it's not going to be a problem later on down the road, but so far I've flushed the differential fluid twice and haven't had any issues, knock on wood or fingers crossed. rear differential oil was sludgy, so the previous owner never changed it, and that's one of the first things I did when I got this car about 2-3 months ago, was changed out the rear differential fluid, and you'll see there's a lot of sludge on the actual oil itself. So this is definitely something that you want to do as soon as possible on your F-Type and make it a continuous, consistent thing that you do for maintenance so that you can protect your rear differential. Next mechanical thing that went wrong was right around 69,000 miles. The catalytic converter bank 1 blew out, and basically the car would kind of run rough and it sounded really bad. The catalytic converter clogged up due to probably overrun and burbles. It's a common issue with these cars, the catalytic converter clogging up and destroying itself basically. So since then we've basically just gutted the OEM downpipes, and now we're a catless right now, and that's fixed the issue so far. But the catalytic converters is something to keep an eye out for, definitely, because bank 2 was about to go as well. It was pretty much almost on its way out. So keep an eye on your catalytic converters, maybe go easy on the burbles a little bit. And that's it so far. So really not too many problems for a car that has a reputation for being unreliable. Jaguars in general, this car isn't that bad. Just a few issues. 70,000 miles. It's hasn't been too hard to really fix the issues that I've had, and it isn't too expensive as long as you can do some of your own wrenching and your own work, because the labor is quite expensive, as you did see with the coolant hose being $150, but the labor being $1,100. And I could have done that myself in about 2 to 3 hours. And you don't have to remove the supercharger to do the coolant pipe in the very back of the engine. So once again, this is 70,000 miles, F-Type V6 S model. It's a high mileage version of the car, but don't be afraid of high mileage. You might get a good deal like we did on this one. Thanks for watching, guys.